Hi and welcome back to Making a Game with Pygame. In this video I'll be adding an object to the game, the actual ball that bounces around the screen. It will have a starting position which will be an X and a Y, and then directions to move the ball around. There'll also be an image included. But first we need to tidy up the code that we created in the last video. So we do that by adding the if statements to tell Python to run the commands if this is the main program. That's to say that it's run directly and not imported externally and then run from external. We do this by typing in the name, if name equals main. Now we need to copy and paste the code that we want to run in this if statement. It also needs to be tabbed across. So we wanted to run the OS environment, the Pygame in it, and then to create the screen. Right, we also need to create the class brick collider. We do that, and colon, and then we also need to define the function. We're going to call it main. So def main needs to take in self and then colon. Now the code that needs to run also needs to be tabbed. So we'll go down and tab through all of this. It needs to tab it across twice. So select it, tab twice. Now to run this we need to actually create the object brick collider. So we need to call it brick collider, open and close parentheses. That will actually create it, and then to run the main we just say dot main, open and close parentheses. Okay, save it and then check. So we go to the command line, and there we go, it's working perfectly. So now we just go and add our ball. So we do that by creating the class ball. Right, ball is going to be a sprite, so it needs to take in an argument with pygame.sprite with a capital S, close brackets and colon. Now it needs to be initialized as well, so we have to define the function def init underscore, and then we take in self with that as well. Yes. Okay, come on now. This is going to be the superclass, so it has to be, or the sprite is the superclass, so we have to define it as well. So we go super, we take in the arguments, the ball and self, and then we have to initialize it to the superclass. So we go dot init and then close and open brackets. This basically points to the argument of the sprite that we took in, and that's attaches it to the superclass. So basically it says that whatever the ball is, it's also a sprite. Okay, so now we'll start by creating the surface for our rectangle. So we go self.image equals pygame.surface with a capital S, and then we create the size of it. So we want a 25 by 25. So 25 with two brackets. Make sure that your image is the same size as the surface, otherwise it won't draw properly. I created mine earlier, so it's 25 pixels by 25 pixels. So now we need to load the image. So we go self image equals pygame dot image dot load, and then we add in the image that we created earlier, which is ball.png. So close off the name. Now we also need to set it to the rectangle, so we set our self.rect equals self.image.get underscore rect, RCT open close parentheses. That will set the image to the actual ball and everything like that, so we'll have an actual ball on the thing. Now we also need to do to place it, so we go self.rect.x equals we want 150 along the x-axis. Y, we want self.rect.y 300 on the y-axis. Okay, we also want to have a directional, so we need a direction. So self.dir_x equals 1. We wanted to move 1 pixel, and the same with the y. dir_y equals 1. So this can be added to the rect x or the rect y later. to change the position of the ball on a certain axis. So now we need to create the actual ball. We do this by naming the ball equals, and then we instantiate ball with open and close parentheses. Pygame also comes with groups, so we'll create a group to add it to. So we go b_group equals, then we point it to pygame.sprite.group with a capital G, open and close parentheses. This will create a sprite group, basically called b_group. So now we need to add the ball to that group. So we go bgroup.add, and then place ball in as an argument. Okay, so we need to draw the actual ball now. Groups themselves actually have a draw function, so we just have to do .draw to it, but we have to be careful where we put it. If we put it before screen, it's going to fill the screen after we draw the ball. So after the screen, we draw our ball. So we go bgroup.draw, and then where we want it drawn, so on the screen, so we put screen in as an argument. Okay, I'm going to set green here. Basically it's a constant color that's going to be used through for the screen anyway, so we can just call it here. So we go 0, 255, I'm at 0. Now we have to draw the fill screen here, so we can just change that now to green, which will basically fill it with green now. So now save it, run it, make sure that we're all working, and there we go. We have the ball here, which is all grand. One thing now we need to do is add the actual movement, and to do that we need to define a new function in the ball object. So we do that by def move, and then we take in the parameter self, of course, as always, and then color. We want to stop the ball from leaving the screen, so we need to check to see if the ball goes outside. So we do that with an if statement. So we go self rect dot right, which would be the right hand side of the actual ball, and if that's greater than or equal to 500, because 500 is how wide the screen is, or the self.rect left is less than or equal to 0, which is the far left of the screen. So that's basically the left of the ball and the right hand side of the ball. If it touches either side, it'll do what's in this if statement. So then we want to change the direction, so we go self.dirx equals the minus self.dirx. That will change it from 1 in this case to -1. Now we want to check the tops and the bottom as well. So if self.rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to 600, or if the top of the ball is less than or equal to 0, then we need to do this. So we're going to change the y direction now. So we go self.diry equals minus self.diry. That'll change any value. If we've got a minus value there, it'll change it to a plus, or if it's a plus value, it'll change it to a minus. Same with the dirx if we do it. Now, every time this goes through, we also need to change the value of rect.x. So we say self.rect.x equals self, or plus equals the diry. That will add on the value of the current diry, and then self.rect.y plus equals self.diry. That will add on the y. And change the self there to make sure it reflects the right one, otherwise it won't work properly. So basically, every time that this is looped, it'll add on 1 or whatever the current value is of the dirx and diry. Okay, so now we need to run that function. So for that we'll do a for loop, just in case there's extra balls in the thing. So we go 4 balls in B group, balls move. It won't take in any parameters, it'll just run it. Okay, so let's check it now. Save it and then go to our command line and run. Okay, there we go. The ball bouncing around, hits the sides, grand, bounces off. And let's wait for the left hand side and top, left, top, grand. Check for the pause. Okay, it's paused, that's grand. And unpause, grand. And escape, grand. Well, that's it basically now for this whole video. We've created the ball object. We have it bouncing around the screen, hitting the sides and coming off. What more can we do? Well, next video will be the paddle and how the ball interacts with the paddle. We'll be defining another function in the ball class for that. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I shall hope to see you all again fairly soon. Thanks very much.